Good evening. Greg Dyke has left the BBC. He said his position as Director General had been compromised by Lord Hutton's criticism of the BBC's management. Moments after he resigned, the BBC apologised unreservedly for any errors it had made. Mr Dyke's statement was greeted with dismay and anger among BBC staff across Britain. Tonight, Mr Dyke insisted he did not necessarily accept Lord Hutton's findings, and he said he did not know what the BBC had apologised for. Gavin Hewitt reports now on the day's events.
This has been one of the most turbulent days in the BBC's history, with staff from all over the corporation walking out and protesting at the resignation of Greg Dyke. When he returned to Television Centre, he was mobbed. Some staff were concerned that in owning up to serious mistakes, the BBC might compromise its independence. And Greg Dyke addressed this when he climbed on a table in the BBC's newsroom.
Do not be cowed. Do not be over-pressurised. Make sure we're right. Be fair. But don't let anyone pressurise you.
This extraordinary day for the BBC began in Downing Street. It was made clear the Prime Minister was still waiting for a full apology from the corporation. A mile away, the BBC governors were meeting again, aware the resignation of the chairman had not settled the crisis. Greg Dyke offered to step down too, because he felt he did not have the full support of the governors. He also felt that his departure was the only way to resolve this whole affair. And early afternoon, he left Broadcasting House.
With the departure of Gavin and myself, and the apology I issued on behalf of the BBC yesterday, I hope that a line can now be drawn under this whole episode.
Shortly after, Richard Ryder, the acting chairman of the Board of Governors, gave the apology the government wanted.
On behalf of the BBC, I have no hesitation in apologising unreservedly for our errors and to the individuals whose reputations were affected by them.
Moments later, the Prime Minister said this apology was all he was ever seeking and hinted that the bitter row at the BBC that led to the death of David Kelly was over.
I welcome very much the statement that the governors have made, and just to say this for me has always been a very simple matter, an accusation that was a very serious one that was made, that was a false accusation as Lord Hutton has found. It's now been withdrawn. That's all I ever wanted, and I want to make it absolutely clear to you. I fully respect the independence of the BBC.
But almost immediately there were concerns both within the BBC and outside that the corporation's apology might be seen as bending the knee to government. Later, Greg Dyke indicated that he too had his doubts.
I couldn't quite work out what they'd apologised for.
He also gave his verdict on the Hutton report.
I'm not going to talk about Hutton now, but I will talk about it at some stage, but I don't necessarily accept the findings of Lord Hutton.
The new man who will take charge at the corporation for the time being is Mark Byford, a trusted and long-serving BBC director. He began by talking of the standards the BBC must achieve.
The BBC must provide high-quality, independent, impartial journalism, recognised for its accuracy, fairness and objectivity.
Tonight he came to the BBC newsroom and stood shoulder to shoulder with Richard Sambrook, the Director of News, one of those whose future was also in doubt. As for Andrew Gilligan, there will be further discussions. Tonight, this is a troubled, bruised organisation. Most people here accept that serious errors were made. But there are real concerns that in responding to Lord Hutton's criticism, the BBC doesn't give the impression of raising a white flag. Gavin Hewitt, BBC